Oof, good lord, I do look like a lobster up in here. Jeez. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Rails. But what does Corey Taylor think? Well, now you know what the topic of this rant is about, but it's not what you think. I'm not here to bash on musicians that have opinions. I'm here to bash on the flock of sheep that are bashing on musicians with opinions. Confused yet? Don't worry, I'll explain. So, for the longest time, even today, a lot of bands and singers and musicians don't really talk about what's going on in their lives other than when their next album's coming out, when they're going on tour, who they're going on tour with, which is fine. I mean, some bands like to have that air of mystique, going back to God knows how long, but more often than not nowadays, a lot of bands and singers and musicians are talking about their opinions on things, politics, social, current events, things like that. This goes back to the Haight-Ashbury movement when bands like the Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane, Strawberry Alarm Clock, Flamin' Groovies, all those bands and the hippie nonsense were professing make love, not war, and the fans just expanded upon it. And things went silent for a little while. Bands went back to singing about what their passions were, love, hate, life-changing decisions, nonsense, things like that. And then in the 90s, a band like Rage Against the Machine started focusing on more socio-political topics. I mean, look at Rage's one of their first albums. I'm not going to say the first because I'm not 100% sure. It's a picture of the Buddhist monk. I apologize so much if I slaughtered Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, self-immolating himself. That was a huge moment of controversy, but it explained the basis of Rage's views on politics and current events. And nowadays, in the era of social media, bands, musicians, and singers are talking about their opinions on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. And that's amazing. I'm glad to know that they're not just cookie cutter people out there just saying, record, 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 tour, 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 sing, 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 jam, 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 go home for 6 weeks, rinse, repeat. I want to know what their opinions are on things, but apparently most people don't. And they're not treating it in an agree to disagree, they're treating it in the dumbest, most immature, borderline troll way possible. Let me give you the biggest example, in my opinion. Corey Taylor, lead singer of Slipknot, lead singer of Stone Sour, does a lot of solo stuff, does a lot of collaborative stuff. Yes, because he's such a commercialized, popular musician who's famous for doing outlandish things like wearing a mask and jumping around on stage and having a neck the size of Long Island Sound, yes, that paints a bullseye on his back. And yes, news groups like Blabbermouth, Team Rock, Loudwire interview him a lot, and he talks a lot about his opinions on social media. Why is that bad? And I guess recently, because it was so many news groups were so focused on it, some wag came up with the meme, but what does Corey Taylor think? Yes, the first 25 times I chuckled at it, and now it's just dumb. Not because it's overused, well, okay, I take it back, it is overused greatly, but now it's just used for all the wrong reasons. Not just Corey Taylor, David Draymond from Disturbed and Device. What's his name? The bassist, he used to be in Rage, now he's in Prophets of Rage, Tom Morello. Richard Patrick from Filter. Because they're voicing their opinions on politics and current events, people who don't agree with them, rather than say, I don't agree with you, they just cast off some sort of thing like, oh, well, you're an idiot for voicing your opinion, or you don't have an opinion, you're a singer, or the other obvious, but what does insert musician here think? What is wrong with a musician or a singer talking about on social media saying, I don't agree with the Pulse shootings in Orlando, or the shootings in France, not just the most recent one in Nice, but the previous one at the Bataclan Lounge, also in France, or about the Baton Rouge shootings, or the Lives Matter movement. What is wrong with saying I like this idea or I don't like this idea? Yeah, I get it. We all entitled to our own opinion. And yes, people can be idiots and not think clearly and post before they think. But honestly, guys, doing the troll is, yeah, maybe you're getting what you want doing the troll thing by posting immature and stupid comments, but it paints you as a dumbass. Yes. And I'm probably, after posting this off the rails, I'm probably to get some picture of me in my hat saying, but what does the Boogie Knight think? You know what? Go ahead and post it. I don't care. I got a thick skin and the sunburn to prove it. But all I'm saying, and this is I think what pisses me off the most now, is people posting these rebuttals to musician opinions on social media, biggest like Twitter, in socio-political and current event situations that they should not do it. It's not even immature, it's just brash, and once again, and makes you look like a schmuck, and it's not cool, guys. It is not cool. The biggest example, and I think this was the trigger point, I have sat through way too many shooting incidences in the past month. The two here in Florida, the Pulse shootings. Day before that, the pop singer whose name escapes my mind, I do apologize, was killed. Before that, the Bataclan shootings in France, and now the Nice shootings in France. And 80 or something killed in Nice. And I apologize profusely if I'm mispronouncing the names. French is not my second language, nor is it my third or my fourth, but that's beside the point. And this is what pisses me off, is seeing the outcry of support from musicians for these incidences, like for Pulse or the two France incidents, or the Baton Rouge shootings in Louisiana, or the Lives Matter movements, or trying to make sense of them. They're voicing these opinions on social media, saying we want to support these cases, whether it's one thing or the next. And fans or non-fans, instead of just saying, okay, that's cool, they're saying things like, why do you care? Or, oh, you're agreeing for a cause I don't agree in. Or the ever-popular, what does musician think? You know, guys, we're living in an age right now, particularly the past 7 months. Yes, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Yes, everyone's entitled for their own political, religious, social reasons and belief systems. That's cool. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying there's a time and a place for everything. And when things like this break out and the fires are all around us, now is not the time to make a trollish, you mad bro, what does something think comment. That is probably what set me off the most, is reading the outpouring of support from musicians. And if I was involved in a case like this, like France or Pulse or Louisiana or DC or anything, to get support from a band I listen to, commercialized or not, I would find that very honoring, that they're taking time out of their day and they're not doing it to promote themselves, they're doing it to show support. Yes, commercialized bands like Five Finger Death Punch or Slipknot or Filter, obviously their names are wider because they're touring more and their albums are more widely available and they're more commercialized and maybe some of them are selling out. But they're still entitled to their own opinion. And just because you don't agree with them or you think that they are voicing too much in situations like recent stuff, like the France shootings or the Pulse shootings or things like that, saying something like you mad bro, that's not even just a troll statement. That's not just trying to get somebody's blood up. That's just you being an idiot. And think clearly, because if you're doing it on social media, you're probably doing it in real life, and sooner or later, someone is to take you out back and beat you with a hose. Take 5 seconds to think before you post, alright? That's just me, though. And that's my opinion. And like I said, if you want to make a trolling meme on me, go ahead. I've got a thick skin, and I've got the sunburn to prove it. So, that's my take, and that's my opinion on what the fans of Corey Taylor think. So, I got another review coming up, so I'm going to take care of business. So, get ready for another Sonic Boogie reviews in the next few hours. In the meantime, y'all stay cool. And I mean that literally because it's hot as hell outside. And I'll catch you on the flip side. All right? Take care. Peace.